I thought the Bookbeat was just another audiobook app that does exactly the same as every other audiobook app, but that's actually not true. So if you haven't heard of Bookbeat, this is an app that allows you to listen to audiobooks, and this isn't the first one we've seen. Thanks to Amazon, we've had Audible for a while now, and that has given people access to loads of audiobooks and opened up a whole market. But this is the first app that I've seen that has a very unique take on their subscription service. See, instead of offering you a book a month in exchange for a fee, or access to a small range of books, or access to copyright free books only, Bookbeat offers you a certain number of hours of reading in exchange for a fee. I'm really struggling not to say Bookbeat from Harry Potter. So I'm going to dive into all of the subscriptions and pricing options, but first I just want to give you a quick overview of Bookbeat, the app, and everything that it offers. And I feel like it's very important to say that this is completely unsponsored. So Bookbeat initially launched in Sweden and Finland in 2016, and it has now expanded to 28 countries. They have over 1 million books on there, and you can listen on your mobile and on the tablet, but you do need to have iOS 15 or Android 8 and above. They offer a 30-day free trial before you start your subscription, and you can cancel anytime, so you're not like locked into anything. As for the UI and the usability of this app, I found it super intuitive. It's very easy and simple to use. When you load the app, you have your most recent listen just sitting right in front of you, so you can get ready to listen to again any books you are currently reading alongside that, and any books that you have added to like your want to read. It will also show you a percentage of like how far you are through the book, and you can get a ton of inspiration for future reads from the inspiration section, and also just by browsing all of the categories they have on there. I did search for a few books, some older, some newer, that I would want to listen to, and there wasn't anything that I couldn't find from when I searched, so that is really good. I will say, however, I have a very basic taste when it comes to books, so if you have more of like a unique and distinctive taste, you might want to go ahead and check on there first just to see if they have the kind of books that you want. But for me, I'm basic, and I like my romance and I like my thrillers, and there wasn't any I couldn't find on there. And actually one of my favorite features is that when you click into a book, you can really easily see the part of a series that that book is, and I've been burned before on audiobook apps with them not telling me it's part of a series, and then I accidentally read like the second or third book in the series rather than the first one. Okay, let's talk subscriptions. And there are 3 options for subscriptions. They're based on the number of hours that you want to listen to audiobooks. So option number 1 is the basic plan, and this gives you 20 hours of listening time a month for $6.99, and this is also what you get with your free trial. You get 20 hours. So option number 2 is the standard plan, and with this one you get 40 hours of listening time a month for $10.99. And the third and final option is the premium plan. With this one you get 100 hours of listening time a month, and that costs you $17.99. And with all of these 3 plans, you can pay an additional £4.99 per person to add an extra person onto your plan. They will then be included in your account, and they can listen to the same number of hours that you have in your package. And how many hours you go for is truly just going to depend on how much you actually think you will listen to, which is going to be individual for every single person. But I will say, I do think that this app is actually quite well priced, and I'll give you some comparisons in a second so that you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. Throughout the month of having this, I had the 20-hour obviously basic trial version, and I read basically 2 books. There's a bit of a nuance there. I'm going to explain it in a second. So you might be thinking, okay, that's all well and good. Those are the plan options, but 20, 40, 100 hours, what does that mean? Like, how many books does that actually get you? Well, most books on Bookbeat that I looked up that I would potentially be interested in reading were somewhere between 9 and 13, 14 hours long. So that would mean that if you have the basic version, you would get potentially 2 books a month, depending on the length of the books. But I will say it totally depends on what you're reading, because I thought to myself, I was like, okay, what's a long book that people might want to read? So I looked up Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones is actually a staggering 33 hours long. So again, the basic version isn't going to cover you for that, but you might not be reading 33 hours in 1 month. But let's say you're commuting to work and you want to listen to an audiobook on your commute. If we say your commute is 1 or 2 hours long and you're listening Monday to Friday, then a 20-hour plan could be perfect for you. I have some stats that might help with comparison. So with Audible, it is $7.99 a month, and with Audible you get 1 book per month. So for $6.99, if you're reading shorter books like 400 pages, if it was an actual paper book roughly, you could get 2 books a month, whereas with Audible you would just get 1. And another comparison is Apple Books. So Apple Books price of books tend to range from $7.99 to maybe $17.99 or so. So you could buy a $17.99 book on Apple Books and that's 1 book you'll get, whereas you could get Bookbeat and then you will get 100 hours, which could potentially be like 10 books for the same price. Again, this is completely individual. It's going to depend on you and you've got to sort of make that decision and judgment call for yourself, but I personally think it's actually very competitively priced. As for the tracking of the hours that you're using, once you reach your hours threshold for the month, automatically Bookbeat will just stop your listenings. There is also a little section in your account so that you can see where you're at in terms of the number of hours used. Now, one strange thing that did happen to me while I was using this app that I really don't understand is that the audiobook I was reading kind of disappeared. So I'm a huge Gilmore Girls fan, and so I was really excited to download the 3rd Gilmore Girl, which is Kelly Bishop's memoir, and I would say I was like 60-70% of the way through it, and I stopped that day, went on the next day to read the rest, and it was gone. Just completely gone from the app. I was like searching it, couldn't find it, nowhere to be seen. So yeah, I did find that really disappointing. I have no idea why that happened. Maybe they had some sort of problem with actually having the rights for the book. I don't know. It was disappointing and I just wanted to mention it in case it would happen to anyone else. Obviously the main downside is that if you're halfway through a book and you go over your quota, you just can't read anymore until the next month. But again, that's kind of what you're signing up for with this app, so you can't be that mad at it. Let me know in the comments if you've tried Bookbeat and what you think of it, and check out my other audiobook videos if you want information on other audiobook services, and I will see you all in the next one.